I know you as an incredible photographer, content creator, but people on my channel who might not know who you are, how do you introduce yourself?
I'm L, the photographer, storyteller, and filmer. So, yeah, I mean, I just document people's lives and somehow get paid for it.
The first time we met, you remember it like it was yesterday?
Yeah, first time we met, it was at a magic trade show. It was like, I don't know, man, it's like the golden era of like hip hop gear, skate brands. At the time, it was like like Echo was hot, Mecca, Academics, LRG, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Denim was a big deal, right?
Right.
My name's L, I'm from LRG, and I just want to compliment you on your jeans. Like, where did you cop your jeans? And they just so happen to be the jeans that, like, you created. We both come from San Diego, and the first time that we meet is in Vegas. So it's like, it kind of brought this thing where it was like, oh, there's fucking, like, creative people in my area. I just don't know about them.
There's so much talent in San Diego. Damn, we used to talk about that all the time in the past, but Jeremy Poe, right?
Yeah.
He went to my high school, and
Millhouse?
You mean Millhouse? Yeah. Millhouse was from San Diego. He's at Oyster Holdings now, doing his thing. But Jeremy was, what was his end title at LRG? He was like the senior art,
like
creative director.
Creative director of it.
Yeah,
LRG.
super talented. Bams and Lonnie from Hell's Bells. They're from San Diego.
Yeah. There's a ton of them. I mean, Alyasha's from San Diego, right?
Well, via New York. So transplant.
Oh,
he lives in New York.
But he was based in San Diego for like a long time.
I think he still has his studio in downtown San Diego. I'm not 100% sure, but big shout out to Alyasha. Like, dude, like,
yeah,
straight
huge
veteran.
Dude, like, you're talking about alphanumeric.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
OG. Yes, all day. Let's talk about you though. So I did meet you when LRG was you were a day one at LRG and did amazing campaigns. Like, tell us about some of the photography that you did there.
My first photo that I created for LRG was with Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Kanye during the time of, it was College Dropout.
Yep.
I worked with Kanye, John Legend, Jim Jones from Dipset, CeeLo Green, Fife, rest in peace.
Yes.
Professional skaters like Chico Brenes, Carl Watson, Adelmo Jr., Jack Curtin. I worked with Ninth Wonder and Little Brother.
Oh my goodness.
I worked with Mr. Chalk from Beat Junkies.
Yes, from Beat Junkies.
DJ Revolution, and then obviously, your underground cats like Living Legends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Iconic, dude. I remember all the shoots. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, respect. That was so crazy. I actually think the way brands are structured nowadays, we won't have a nostalgia like that. Like, I think a brand that really cracks right now, for example, is Live Fit in Orange County. I think Randall's doing some dope things. But the way there was just like a dynasty kind of at LRG with Jonas Bavacqua, rest in peace. Right. I think Jonas and Robert had put together a really good combination and like was just able to blow up that multi-million dollar company. I mean, it's still going now. Obviously, it's changed ownership. I always try to work for underdog companies. And LRG at the time was probably just one of the biggest brands out there. And a lot of times I'd walk around you guys and the crew and you guys would be like, when you gonna come design for like the big dogs and stuff like that.
Anyone who came from LRG, all of us that were like this original group are successful. You know what I mean? We've all gone different ways or like worked for different companies, like I've said. But we're all doing good, you know what I mean? Everyone's like either started their own brand or working for a bigger brand, or, someone like Vince, who I once worked at the warehouse with, he's killing it. He's like a chef now.
Doing his culinary thing. I mean, and cooking for straight up celebrities. Shout out to Vince Domingo, man. Murdering it right now.
He's definitely killing it. And you're talking about he was once a warehouse manager, and then he became like the skate team manager.
Right. And he did some things in marketing as well, right? I mean, he was doing some good things.
A lot of his contribution was towards like skateboarding. So, I mean, he's the one who discovered Kelly Hart and Jack Curtin. you know?
No one on my channel knows me as John Phenom, the denim guy, so I'm glad you brought that up. I talk about it, but it doesn't matter. They just know me from these vids. But it's a new era now. I mentioned a little bit that it's changed. And now we're kind of in an era where there's like influencers, both macro and micro. You know, it's not just musicians and all of that. And so it's been dope to see you transition, because where a lot of my design work has been with brands in the past, more and more it's influencers that need merch. And so some of the basis of my business has changed, and you are actually doing some big things with creating content. And so you're officially Z-Trip's main guy for media. Is this true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. How'd you get there? And tell us about like what do you do for him and how did you get there?
DJ Inspire, which a big shout out to her, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be working with Z-Trip. But she referred me to him and vouched for me and said, this guy's a great photographer. He's a great filmer, even though she didn't know me personally.
Wow.
Which is like the crazy, like I think about it and I'm like, whoa, like it's crazy that, two people I don't know have this conversation.
That's a huge compliment to your work, brother.
Yeah, like I'm humbled by it. It's crazy to think about it like that. And so yeah, fast forward, I get this message saying, if I was interested in maybe, traveling and working with a DJ, and, they're looking for someone local. And it's funny because when you hear the word local, you're like, not another one of these gigs, like I'm past that.
Well, you thought it was like a local ass DJ, right?
Right. So I'm sitting here like, they want me to shoot some local DJ that's gonna give me, the expected line of, hey, you look out for me, we'll look out for you. Like, this is gonna be big. When we do big things, we won't forget about you, right? That's like what we all go through.
Yeah, as a freelancer, that's a standard thing you'll hear.
Right. And so I was just like, you know what? Like, here's my email. Have them, send me the details of what this is about. And then, I get this message from Z-Trip's manager, Yulia. And, the first thing I saw was like, how you read someone's email. It says like, John Phenom at johnphenom.com, right? And I'm reading it and it's like, her name at ztrip.com. And I'm like, is this Z-Trip?
Yeah, the infamous, world famous Z-Trip.
This guy's like legendary.
Yes, sir.
From what he said, that looking at my work, he loved the way that I was able to like capture and tell people's stories.
That's the first time you ever met him ever, right?
Yeah, ever. So the only time I've ever really known about him was on the he was on the documentary of Scratch, right?
Yep.
So that's since I wasn't really so much into the DJ scene, I didn't really know like what he was doing in his career. I only knew him from the documentary, and I know that like he's this like legendary like DJ, and sometimes people will say like he's the creator of the mashup, but he's so much more than that, right?
Yeah.
So I understood walking out. I remember it was like, hey man, like let's just do this, let's just try it out, because I definitely don't want to have like another 2-hour conversation with someone else and hope that they get it. Like I feel like you understand what I'm looking for.
Right.
We're bringing you to Texas. Here, go. We're gonna shoot South by Southwest, and I'm like, holy shit. Like,
in what time frame? They talk about like
experience.
In the next X amount of days.
Well, I would say first I shot a video for him in Orange County at the observatory. It was him and Melody. Like this hip hop show. Like 3 weeks after, they were like, we're gonna bring you out to South by. I mean, South by is the biggest music film festival in Texas, and
those 2 weeks impacts Austin's economy so ridiculously in just those 2 weeks. It's insane.
Like run and gun of going from like one event to the other, to the other, to the other. It's like you're hitting like maybe 5 to 6 parties throughout the day, and then you go to your room and it's like you rest for 3 hours, then you wake up and you do it all.
And you go get it. Wow.
You know, shout out to DJ Buck Rogers, because he's like Austin's, or at least to me, he's like Austin's dopest like DJ.
Word up.
Like if they let it in like to the T of like, it's been a great experience. And you know, just creating these videos and content with him has helped me grow as a filmer.
Right.
Which is crazy because, you know, he's a DJ, a producer, but he's also like very, you know, just creative. Like he has a very like creative mind, and he's taught me a lot. Like you know, like where I can do things visually, but if I understand things sonically, that I can make something even twice as better than I can make it.
Wow. I've never even heard a sentiment like that.
It's a very in-depth like relationship of us like sitting together, and him like saying like, you know, if you move this clip to here, like now listen to it sonically, like does it look better visually? And it's like night and day, you know.
Dang, I need to extract some knowledge from Z-Trip. That's crazy. So
yeah, you can sit with him all day, and you'll just learn literally just by listening to him.
Crazy. So that first meeting though, out of curiosity, being the media content creator guy for any kind of public figure, but someone like Z-Trip, I mean, like, I think began by pitching Gary Vaynerchuk, can I follow you for a day? And then now he travels with him all around the world. And so, like, I think work was done before the meeting. You know, like, you've done photography for years, and that's really what spoke for you. And the funny thing is, bro, the biggest positions that I've held for anything that has to do with director were, like, the shortest interviews in terms of an actual interview. You know what I mean? You know, when you prep for what you think is gonna be a huge interview, you know, you're thinking of questions and how you're gonna answer them, but really a lot of times creatively your work will precede you.
Right.
Do you have advice for anyone that is maybe on a parallel path or might want to do something similar to you, or like anything that you've kind of learned?
Don't do it. Pick something else.
It's a tough
no. You take photo away from me, you take video away from me. I don't know what else to do. I can't fix a car. I can't, like, I just thought about, like, okay, like, how hard can I work to be able to do this for a living and just, like, really tune in my craft, right? It's like, we live in an era right now where it's, you know, social media, like, yes, I create content. But the thing is like, when you jump into this game, you have to understand that, like, the turnaround has to be like that. You know what I mean? You don't have a 4 to 6 week lead time.
Right.
So you have to turn around. My advice for anyone who wants to come into this is, one, like, really understand what you're doing technically, understand like your camera, and then go and work towards that. For instance, you're gonna get the door slammed in your face. You're gonna get people that's gonna tell you no. Take a look at your day and be like, can I afford to skip my whole day and not get paid to follow a photographer that's doing this for a living and learn from it? You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I appreciate you for your time. It's not like we don't talk all the time, so I'll be rapping with you soon, but I wanted to bring you to my audience.
Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate you having me. It's great to see you, like, active on here, because me personally, 100, like, with you, dude. Like, and to this day, seeing you on Instagram and creating these little videos and inspiring people, like, that's the shit we need. You know what I mean? We don't need shit where it's like, oh, secret fucking design coming soon. Not gonna tell you how we did it. Ha ha ha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
Yo, whoever's watching this, all of you need to understand that John Phenom is the man. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. That's it.
Thank you for the endorsement. L, I'll talk to you soon, bro. Go do your thing. You got that shoot in 2 days.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. We'll talk soon.
Peace.
Peace.